Hello everyone from Minto, New Brunswick, Canada. My name is Patricia and I hope your day is going good so far. Today is Friday. This is Canada's long weekend. On Monday is what we have Labor Day, and then the children will go to school. The younger ones on Tuesday and some of the older ones on Wednesday. Thankfully, well, really not. I wish my children were smaller, but um, yeah, it's going to be a busy week for the teachers. They're already in the classes preparing for their first day of school. And I just pray for the children as they go back to school that they will be safe and the teachers will have knowledge of how to deal with each child lovingly and caringly. Do you have plans for the weekend? A lot of people will come home probably on Sunday if they're traveling, or Monday, and be ready for school on Tuesday. I know I was talking to some people yesterday and they were thinking it's almost time to come away from the lake. And what a beautiful time I had yesterday, just a few miles away, with 5 girls. They asked me on Wednesday, no, was it Wednesday night? No, it probably was Monday night, if I would come with them. I was up in the air with that. I didn't know what to do because I have other things I should be doing. And today has been a busy day. I went to Chipman, which is 15 minutes or 20 minutes out, 20 minutes back to Chipman to check on their deals, bought some corn. Now I have to go through my freezers and resort it so I can put some items in. I was going to do that today, but being a diabetic, this morning I was up early. Well, really not early for some. I was up at 7:30 and out the door at around that. I just got quickly dressed and left and come back with a few items. But those items need to be in a freezer. So I really need to take out a big chicken, and I can cook that up this weekend, or it takes a day or two for that to thaw, but then I can have that cooked, cut the meat off it, and put some in the fridge and some in the freezer. So that's what I think I'll do. And then we'll have meat for chicken sandwiches, a chicken soup, just whatever we want, right? I can put it in with a can of cream and mushroom, put it on potatoes, just things like that. So that's what my goal is. Our nights are getting colder. This morning, when we got up, it was like 5 degrees, which is 40, and that doesn't hurt me. But, fall's coming, and it comes every year. Sometimes it comes a little later, sometimes it comes a little earlier. So I know when I was in grade 10 many years ago, it was so hot in September that we, as a high school, walked out and we sat in the I guess there was a Kentucky Fried Chicken next door, and some stood out and sat in the lawns. We sat beside there on the line. It was a side hill, and we wouldn't go back to school until we could wear shorts. And because it was so hot, and I think a lot of us wore shorts when we came back because the weather was so extremely hot for the first few weeks of school. So we rebelled. We got it. We were able to not just have to wear slacks, a dress or a skirt, but we got to wear shorts, not skimpy shorts and not little tops, You had to be modest in your apparel. So today, kids don't have to do that. They're wearing what they want, and a lot of times it's very seductive. They don't realize that, and if they do know, they don't see what consequences could be, right? We older guys know all about that. We've lived life. They're just starting. They're little puppies on the journey. They're just little ones on the journey. I haven't had a chance this week to go in to see my nephew. I was going to do that today as well. I still may go in this afternoon, and if not, I may run in tomorrow. I know he'll be getting out, and then they've got to try to find him a place to stay. And then it's the choices that he makes, that how he navigates his life. So again, just continue to pray for Brad and for all of his family and for all of Natasha's family who was killed in this motor vehicle accident. Today is a new day, and I'm thankful for today. I am telling you, I'm not sure if anybody has had cancer, and I've had it 3 times, that with the treatment from the second cancer, it was unreal. I am not sure if from having cancer you get you're forgetful, or if it's just starting to become like 70. I'm getting worse and worse, it seems to myself. Every day I think of something, and the next minute I don't know what I was thinking about or going to do. And that's not just a little here and there, it's quite a lot. And I think, and it might just be me, my dad's mom had Alzheimer's. No, sorry. My mom's mom had Alzheimer's. She went into a fetal stage. And my dad's father had Alzheimer's, where he hid everything. And his, like, money in his sneakers, in his socks. But then was putting it in the flush. Would sneak out in the middle of the night. And they would find him in a swamp looking for some person he knew years ago who had been gone many years. So I'm not really sure what's going on with me. Again, I'll mention it to my doctor, but at one point I did. He told me I was fine. But anyway, it's just a concern of mine, and maybe it shouldn't be. But if you know with having cancer that possibly could happen, that would be good to know. Somebody mentioned it to me yesterday. Look, Patricia, you've had cancer 3 times. And that could be why you're having some memory issues too. So don't be hard on yourself. But I've never heard of that. So, but it is a concern. So I'd ask even for those little prayers for me. A kind lady in our community who is moving away, who has a Facebook post, if you need help, needing help in our municipality, to post it on her page. I posted earlier this, before spring, probably late spring, when the rhubarb was starting to come, and early summer possibly. And she posted right back and said yes. And her husband brought me in quite a lot of rhubarb, which I have a lot of rhubarb now frozen in my freezer. In my freezer. And I'm so thankful for her, because without this page online, people would have had to put it on a for sale. And people aren't looking for that on a for sale place, right? That you need help. And one time or another, people need help with something. Whether it's, do you have, I need a board to fix this, just a 4x8, or do you have a pane of glass to put in a window? Mine broke. And if somebody's got an old window and it's that size, well, there you go, you have it. She is moving now from our location to Sussex, and I am happy for her because she loves it there, and she has a teenager she's caring for. So this is where she feels she is being led. So she's purchased a place there, and her house is sold. Well, before she has moved, because she's still got until mid-September to have everything out, she went through her cupboards and found items of food items and of like soups and mixed beans and tomato sauces and spaghetti and macaroni and stuffing, bread stuffing, and just so very much. And I immediately had just said, sure, I'll take some. We can all use something like that. We're not rich, but we're not poor. And I try to look after our money as well as I can, not to be too frugal. Where we have taken out of our money $6,000 a year just for our, that's not counting my prescriptions, $6,000 a year is taken out of our money or my husband's money every year. And so I had to take off I didn't have to, but I thought we'd try to save some, but I'm not sure if I'm saving any. So all I have on our medical is our prescriptions and our travel, if we travel out of the country or across the province, or and in other provinces across Canada. And that is costing us, like I said, $6,000. Now that's a lot of money for seniors. Now, when he was working for the company he worked for, it was nearly not that much. It was still high, but it was not that much. And even when we had a family, it wasn't that much. But every year, things get crazier, don't they? Now, I pay $12 or $15 every prescription, and I take a handful. I take 4 pills a day for my hernia, which is quite large, and I spoke to the doctor yesterday morning. He asked me how I was doing, and I said, well, as long as I take those 4 pills a day, I am doing okay. I hear where the hernia is, it's gurgling and gurgling. And he said, yeah, that'll do that. But the pain was always up underneath my chest. It was just so tight. I just couldn't eat anything either, because when I wasn't on those pills, even when I was on 2, I couldn't handle the pain. But with the 4, and he just told me, yeah, the doctor in St. John is overwhelmed because one of the doctors that does what needs to be done to me has left the province, and he's there alone in St. John, which is like about 80 miles away from here, where I would have to go to have that. And I don't think I'll ever have it done. I'm just saying that. because of and without having any pain other than the uncomfortableness, I can probably deal with that. So again, pray it doesn't get any bigger, and that it doesn't cause any more problems. I was thinking, went to our study Wednesday evening where we had, the pastor wasn't in, his family must have had something they needed to do, and we had a deacon in our church, an elder, and he spoke on focusing on God. And I know I've been through hard times a lot throughout my lifetime, and it made sense. He went through, let me just give you one little, one point where David and Goliath. David was a shepherd boy, and he carried a sling. And Goliath was a giant. He was over 9 feet tall. 9 feet, anyway, at least 9 feet tall, and he was the Philistine. And they were coming against the Israelites, and he threatened them. And this little boy, this little shepherd boy, probably was a young teenager, was asked by his father to come out and bring some food to his brothers that were online in the army, soldiers. And so David did, and they told him to get back, and they were focusing on this giant. They had such fear, these men and the Israelites, because he was so tall, and he had a great big shield, and he had a great big sword that he would need to, when you're 9 feet tall, you'd have, and the weight of his body armor would be heavy. So they were very fearful of this man. And David gave his brothers, I believe, the food that his father had sent him to do, and he saw this giant. But his focus wasn't on this giant. His focus was on God. He picked up one stone because Goliath didn't think anybody could do anything, and he never thought anything about this young man, this little shepherd man, the little shepherd boy. David cast a stone, hit him between the eyes. He died. And David cut his head off, I believe. I believe that's right. Anyway, is what they would have done to him. They would have hung his head up for everyone to see if it had been Goliath. So David didn't focus on the giant, like the problems in our lives, right? That are so humongous we feel. But he focused on God and his ability to give him precision and all that. And David killed that giant. And so when we have problems in our lives, it was just, I need to do that every time. And we need to do that. Don't focus on what's ahead, what you see with your mind, and you hear with your ears, and you hear what they say, the fear they want to put on you, and it takes all your senses, right? It uses all your senses, but don't use your senses to entrust in God. Focus on Christ alone. And that is something I need to do every day. And I hope that you will take a little bit of encouragement from that you will comment below on, or send me, and you can write to me at 41 Logue Road, Minto, New Brunswick, Canada. Logue is spelled Logue. Minto, New Brunswick, Canada, E4B 3H9. And be kind. I will only answer letters that are kind. And if you need prayer, and if you want to be encouraging, I will be encouraging back. I will answer your letters here. I won't get into personal information. So down below, there's a little picture, and if you click on the little picture below the video, you will see a picture of me. Click on that and subscribe. And then you'll see a like button or a do not like button. Click the like button if you like what I have to say, or just like my video today. And you can share it with anybody. Share it with your church members. Share it with your brothers and sisters who are kind, please. And just somebody that needs to hear this, a little bit of a word about David and Goliath, and focusing on what Christ can do, not what we feel we can do or can't do, right? So God bless each and every one of you today. And I appreciate you becoming a subscriber. And I appreciate all of your likes and all of your comments. Have a good day, and God bless each and every one of you. Be kind to everyone. God bless.